No, just for my little scrapbook.
Oh, sure, sure. Okay, you all alive now. You did.
All alive, except for Bull.
Yeah.
He's
Um,
Bo.
Welcome back to the Call of the Hunger. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna talk a little bit about where the game is going, so that way we can make sure that we, um, like get the chance to feel conclusion at some point. And also, if everything's vibing, we can potentially chart new courses. Once we get going once we wrap up the campaign finale. I also envision that we won't have too much going on in the main session. Depending on what you guys choose, I might need to do prep relatively soon, which means that we might not have that much game session. But if you guys do some stuff that I kind of already planned, then maybe we'll just go the whole length anyways.
Beach session.
Beach party.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Shopping! Yeah, I don't know if I'd go to a beach in Lenore, but I don't know. They cleaned the rivers with the fonts of Rampilar, so
What about that
should be all
that big ass lake where the thing died? That'd be
Yeah,
a
you can go to the
nice
Crystal
lake to go
Tarn.
to, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And every time you
We
go out,
could
you have
go
to get a
hang
new
out with-
swimsuit.
Yeah.
We go hang out with Delmont. He can show us how the river people do it.
That's right. So we talked a little bit offline about kind of what everyone's comfort was with where this was going, and you guys are reaching max level. I think you guys got like one dose of 50 XP left. Before kind of done with the XP thing, because it gets infinitely harder to find things that will actually challenge you guys and not break the consistency of the world. So, you guys fight this one goblin. He has 90 health. So kind of
Well, see, the only problem with that is how much soak does he have?
Yeah, just keep increasing that. We're
Just a
fighting-
massively fat goblin. He has like 10 HP,
His-
but 90 soak.
his soak just says I do. Well, it's all that time at the beach, it's just increasing his soak. But anyways, with the purpose of the intent was for the Call of the Hunger to kind of get the natural flow would be to kind of solve the issue with Cinder, right? We're kind of coming up on that, as that's kind of what you guys are pulling the thread on. But there's still other outlying issues, whether it be the head of the Flaming Tribe, Kane Valak, being a general dick, whether it be Grimnod, whether it be people to save from people's backstories, etc. That being said, all of that can be edited in post, right? It can be where we say our characters story opens a new chapter, and they we can say that our story's concluded, even though the character stories might not. We can kind of write out their I want to say backstory, but it's the opposite.
Their ending.
Their epilogue.
Yeah, epilogue's good.
But we could also just keep playing. So I think that now's a good time to be starting to think about that. And I wanted to see what everyone else's thoughts were.
So I would not mind continuing the game after we cure Cinder, but I'm kind of a go with the flow on it, because the other stuff that I want to do with Ilya, I think, would take more time. Would be a few quick sessions.
Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, that I want to bring up to the table is if we stop playing, it doesn't mean we have to stop playing, too, right? Like, we can start a new campaign. We could do some other thing. with our Monday nights, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that like the alternative is absolutely nothing. So
Well, and you would,
Yeah.
or
I
something.
mean, I live down here now. I live not that far from you.
It's true.
We could do a 5-person Warhammer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, like Warhammer tabletop?
I think he meant the video game, but
Unless there is
Oh.
one.
All right, Dustin's
There's-
picking up the
What?
figurines.
Is there a Warhammer tabletop? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is
I just need to sell a kidney to afford the figures.
I mean,
I was just looking at 5080s today. I think there's a better use for my money.
well, I don't know. I didn't want to get outed live on stream, but Jesus Christ. I have I slowly quit like every D&D campaign besides this one. And I was thinking after this comes to a natural conclusion, I was just going to take a break from tabletop RPGs like in general in life. Not done forever. I've just been playing them since high school, and I'm like, kind of more into other game types right now. But
Yeah, if you guys want to do like a big multiplayer game that's available through Steam and isn't too resource intensive, then I'd be interested in trying that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm personally
I left
like,
Dylan's campaign last year. Oh, just the other group I was in. I dipped out last year. So this one I've just been like, yeah, I'll finish it out and then see how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm game to play this for as long as folks want. I'm having a good time, but I'm also, as long as something reaches a nice story end, I'm good. But I'm enjoying myself. So whatever folks want, I'm good with.
I get one night every 2 weeks with friends. I don't care how it is.
One thing we could do to Austin, if it was something you're interested in, was we could set Wretch aside, and then I have a plot hook to pick the Deadhurst Heights campaign back up through Shins, if you're interested in taking a break and eventually coming back and picking up Shins again. That's definitely something that is on the table as well.
Yeah, it's definitely something to consider. I also think like, and this isn't really a criticism of anybody in particular, it's just like, I also feel like I liked tabletop gaming in person.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that, like hanging out with your friends, playing with the miniatures, being able to actually pick them up and fuck around with them. Like, I do miss that, but like the online component is more efficient for scheduling and streaming and all that stuff. But I think some of the charm was what I was missing. So it's just like, I like hanging out with you guys, but it's different when I actually get to see you people.
Yeah.
Well, good news for you, Austin, is when I'm moving closer, I'm hoping to have a game room. And I'm going to build one of those tables with the monitor in the table. So we can use Roll20 to display the map, but would still be able to move characters and things like that.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I just don't.
really cool.
I don't think there's a replacement for IRL hanging out.
Agreed.
Heard.
So, what I'm hearing is Andrew moves back up, and then we pick back up in person with all of the shit that we've accumulated over the years to play in person, and then didn't have the unfortunately
Dude, you
the
can't-
schedule to do so.
You can't get snarky though, because you have enough figurines to make any campaign situation viable. Like,
No, I'm agreeing with you.
No.
Okay, good, good.
I picked up digital because I couldn't get people into the room.
yeah, I thought you were getting passive aggressive. Like, now I have to get all these figures. I'm like, you have a rat
Mm-mm.
somewhere.
No, I've got
Like-
I've got all of the map stuff. I've got 3D terrain. I've got.
And I mean,
Like-
when it comes down to it, just buy a 3D printer if we need more.
Mhm.
True. One of my, I'll quit with this diatribe in a second. But one of my favorite moments, to put a positive spin on it, was your 3D factory. That was one of my favorite maps ever.
Yeah, that was mint.
Yeah.
Like,
I have
how
pictures
many
of it on my
levels
phone.
did you have of that? It's
4.
Like, that was insane.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was the one where you guys had to climb up through the grinder, the garbage disposal.
Mm.
Well, you guys didn't have to, but you chose to.
You didn't have to. Thanks for that. It makes us.
I
Sounds
thought we had all agreed, and then we hadn't, and then we split the party.
Hey, you clogged
can't-
it. You clogged it first, so at least you didn't get ground. But, anyways.
Yeah, you can't offer a rat to go up a chimney and then be like, "Hey, you went up the chimney. What's that about? It's in my blood.
Yeah.
Small hole, go."
So,
What I'm built for.
I think what we can do is, if Austin, are you looking to step away? Are you wanting to keep playing with this group every other Monday night, or is like I'm trying to think about like, do we continue without you, or do we drop everything then and play something else?
If you're asking me directly, like, I would not be offended if other people are enjoying online tabletop experiences. If you continue playing, that's completely fine.
And
I'm
regardless of other answers, it doesn't have to be like a full group thing, but I would be interested in doing like a one-on-one or like a you and Sarah and me kind of thing too, if you guys want to keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, with Dustin, you and Sarah, it would be the same character balance as the Calamity Company.
Mhm.
So it's still
Sure. Yeah.
it's still a viable game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So I guess put that in like as we play out the next couple of things, just put that in the back of your guys' brains is like, hey, you know, I want to figure out, you know, we want to go kill Grimnod or something like that, right? Then you guys can put that in there, and then we can start thinking about, you know, like maybe we do something with you, Austin, on an off night or something like that. Like the day that we were doing Total War with Andrew is now a group video game of some sort.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's one more night a week. I'm around to do whatever. So
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Cool.
I'm around. We have some IRL board games we've been meaning to play for a while that aren't legacy games, so
Mm-hmm.
there's more nights I can pop over.
All right. So, food for thought. But tonight, we answer that call. And last time we left off, you guys left the Oradon, a nightclub, led by the Jin Diala. And she'd left you guys with some kind of hard choices. Basically, the couple of things that you were considering as options with moving forward was that you could probably figure out how to get this parasite into the conduit of Cinder, aka your buddy Hrondadrolf. You just have to put him in something. Put him somewhere that if he dies, the parasite dies with him. The other options, Emery was interested in potentially reaching out to Chetelcorp and more specifically the task force that was put together to investigate the Black Spot and see if they had discovered anything since you guys had divulged so much information with them about the origination or the origins of the Black Spot and its involvement with the Cinder parasite. Diala also said, you know, it'd be a beautiful tragedy if Hrondadrolf had to die in the name of killing this parasite. But you could also potentially use a highly enchanted artifact, like, I don't know, the God Killer Sword. It might be lured to that. Who knows how that might interact? But that is a possibility out there. And lastly, she said, hey, if you guys don't have the tools and the means to be able to solve this on your own, maybe you look towards others that might. Indicating folks like the Black Spot Task Force, but also indicating maybe a recruiting a black dragon in some way, shape, or form might have a particular set of skills that could be useful in hunting such a prey as this parasite. And so as you guys left, you're considering all these different things, while also being set in a town that was poised for more civil unrest as the church stirred up a stark classist rift, and people started turning towards this strange, aberrant mutations that have been starting to take over the town, and trembles have come from the blast zone of RMD6, and so on and so forth. What does the party do?
All right. So if we want to solve
we-
the cinder bit, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that we have. It sounds like we have pressing concerns in Lemoore, like seismic activity in the tunnels. But I don't know if I want to make friends with black dragons, but I think the option to pull the parasite out that way. Because, like, me as a player and Ilya as a character would rather die than give up the sword.
Yeah. See, to me,
Yeah, don't give up your sword.
still like the Arondadrolf option, as horrible as a death as it sounds. Sounds like he will still work as a conduit. We could have it.
And he sounded willing, right?
Yeah, because he was like, I've been infected, basically by the same thing that all the ghouls had. So like, I'm on death's door, so to speak, in a weird way too. Like, so it was a kind of a suiting way out to go out. It's just a matter of if we want to like. How do I, like, stuff him in a deep dark hole and let him and the thing, like, starve there, or if we can find a different solution, but...
Well, he just has to physically die. Doesn't have to be conscious for the process.
I think the problem
But if he
is...
dies in the open, the parasite could leave.
Yeah, the parasite could go to someone else, so it's kind of like we'd have to, like, leave him alive so that the parasite doesn't, like, sink into your sword.
You
or
have to seal him in somewhere.
Yeah.
While it's still
like
eating
weld him inside a metal box.
And then give him a dagger to kill himself with.
Right. Or have a spell so that he's put to sleep and stuff him in a metal box so that he's not conscious when he suffocates to death.
Yeah, like, if we had that cage from the Onyx, then we'd have a thing to stick him in that theoretically is supposed to work, but that's a whole thing.
Well, you guys broke in there once.
Yeah.
You can break in there again.
We are much stronger now, and we have one more.
Yeah. We have a Nash.
We have a
We
plus
have... My sword's better. We're better at bonking.
Mm-hmm. And heaven forbid we try to talk to the Onyx, because we know how that went for my friend, so...
I guess.
Yeah.
Part of it, Josh, is what do you have prepared for us to do?
You guys could do any of these things with Cinder. I'm more so talking about if you guys want to do certain things in town today, then those sorts of things, some of them might not
that's what
necessarily
you're
be
asking
available.
about.
Yeah, I can prepare any of these routes easily enough, like from session to session, because some of these are a little bit more broad. It's not like you guys are going to just be like, and it's 6:35 and we're in front of Cinder.
No.
Hell yeah.
Like, we can like, I guess there's no harm in me going and checking in with well, they're not doctors, they're alchemists or whatever, really quick, just to see if they've learned anything. Like, the black spot's not the same as, like, the parasite that's in Cinder, but, like, maybe they know more that could be helpful? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask.
I don't know.
Yeah, reach out to the people that we have given, like those journals of the black spot. The people that you reached out to, confer with them.
Yeah.
Was there any prep Emery had to do while we were in town with the money she has now?
Did we pay the money to the people to do the grain stuff?
You said you did.
Yeah.
How much was it?
That seems to have been completed. I just don't know if you guys marked it off on your sheets.
How much should we owe them for that?
I don't have it written down. I think it was like a platinum, 100 gold.
Yes, it was 100 gold. Okay. I will pay it on my sheet. I didn't have my sheets last week. So I'm I was trying to transfer my notes to here at the beginning of
Doesn't
the
it feel so nice to have that cord back?
Yes, it does. But I'm a little disorganized,
So that should leave you with 1 platinum.
Yeah.
I can lend you another platinum because I'm not really buying anything. I was planning on buying a house, but it doesn't sound like that's going to be something we need to worry about.
I don't know that I have anything I want to buy with my money.
You're happy with the staff you have, or armor, stuff like that?
I am, because, like, my armor is Querbus, so it's my little, like, tree guy, so I don't think I can, like, improve him.
He is your armor slot. Like, he's your main chest piece sort of thing, and he can't necessarily add to him.
Yeah.
In a traditional way. However, I would be willing, if you were to do like training montages and spend time and like find someone who could train him and stuff like that over time as well, if this is going to be longer into the campaign, have him grow and stuff like that. So you could spend resources to upgrade him in that sense. But it's not like you can like weld armor onto him or something like that.
Just feed him fertilizer. Lots and lots of fertilizer.
Right.
He accepts chunks of old bones and stuff like that as a memory.
Sorry.
Remembering that whole house, that was a memory that almost ate you guys back in the day.
So you're saying I could make him stronger with that?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's something I could buy to do that, I just figured I couldn't do that with either my staff or Querbus because they're like woodland creations rather than like something I would do in the city.
Yeah, I would consider that to be something that would take time. Like if you guys are like, we would like to take a toilet and relax and spend some money, and then you could do that pretty easily. Not in Lemoore, but like maybe at the maybe at the Buckums or at one of the Flame tribes. Sorry, one of the tribes divisions.
Yeah.
Also, Wretch, last session, didn't you say you wanted to do some shopping? I can't remember if you got around to it.
I believe I did.
Did you get a badass spear?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
that's right.
the gilded spear of impaling.
That's nice.
I'm a spear boy now.
So yeah, honestly, I'm G. Like I like what I have.
Something to consider about platinum is that money in the quantities of platinum, while it does give you access to this like legendary gear sort of level, like really, really strong gear, it is also enough money to grant favors, right? For instance, working with Bushman Farms the way you guys do. So consider having some on hand to potentially be able to enlist people to do things that don't necessarily have any chores around the house for adventurers.
I was actually going to ask last session and never got around to it. if there was like a community fund I could donate a platinum to help the people that were displaced.
Yeah, you could give money to Friendly. Friendly runs a lot of that. He's been the one who's been subsidizing food for people and whatnot.
Okay.
But if you'd like to do something a little bit more, if you'd like to have some showmanship in it and whatnot, what you could do is try to curry favor with certain groups by doing that as well. So, let's see if I can put this up here.
Yeah, I guess
So-
I'd be interested if there was something like along the lines that we would see as like a Red Cross.
Yeah, I mean that would be ammo. So that is the
Okay.
ammo is the corporation, but it is let's see. Why do I'm just bleeding out of my nose a little bit, I guess. Ammo is basically the association of biomancers that they work more of a. They're not like a company in of themselves. It's hard to describe, but basically like they come together to do more pro bono stuff and whatnot.
All right, so that would be something I'd be looking for today to do. I don't have to have everybody else there because I've got the spare platinum on me.
Sure. Yeah, Association of Mutagenic Operations. It's a cheap upstart of scientists rather than the profiteers. You already happen to know one of them.
Oh, and I guess one side quest that we keep forgetting about that Nash would be interested in would be helping the centaurs.
That's the Buckums, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down to help the Buckums. They were good to us.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I like the Buckums.
Mhm.
Maybe we can
Yeah.
enlist people at the city to help the Buckums, because it wasn't a thing we could do alone.
Yeah. Romagno and Ida Spark and Gem worked with Ammo to help you guys get Wile and Buckham out. So you could potentially leverage them and try to subsidize them helping out the people.
Okay, so that's what I would like to do with my time in town.
Okay.
I can
But you
assist
guys can do
Adventure.
your stuff.
I have no stuff.
I'm
I
gonna
already
go
got
talk
my
to
sweet
scientists.
armor.
So when we're leaving the club, is it like nighttime or is it like midday?
It is going to be evening of the
Okay.
of the second day. Yep.
I guess I'd wait till the morning then.
Because Emery partied all day. However, yeah, it's about 5 o'clock. If you would like to either head to Chettlecorp or there's a chance that some of the biomanners might be at the Crucible. If you would like to try to see if you can figure out where the individuals who worked on the Black Spot are, you can go ahead and do that now, Emery, if you'd like.
Yeah.
Cool. So scrolling back down. All right. Had to find Romagno and Ida Spark and Gem's names. So you'd previously met the research team at Chettlecorp because that is where this all began, with you returning the notes of the taxonomers and getting in touch with Sponge. Heading there once more, you come across the familiar guards at this point who recognize you. At this point, it'd be great if we could switch into some first person here. They kind of give you a head nod as you approach. Oh, all right. Familiar, but it's been a while. You were working with Sponge, was it right?
Yep, that's right. Nice to see you again. How have you been, Charlie?
Oh, it's. I actually got his name here.
Nope, she
Take
said
a
Charlie.
wild guess.
Yeah, right.
Has Josh ever given anybody a normal name though, Sarah?
Only the really weird ones, right? Then it's like,
Yeah,
that's Bob. He's
exactly.
that's what we named the snail. That's underground. Like,
So,
right?
the orc guard kind of like, I mean, it's Danik, but it's okay. I'm sure you get across a lot of folks. Your group is really familiar with a lot of people in town. Isn't that right, Bertrand? He says to the Knoll guard, who's there as well. Anyways, I'm sorry, Sponge isn't in. You're looking for her.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Do you know when he'll be back?
Sponge hasn't been around for quite some time now.
Really? Where has he run off to then, if you don't mind me asking?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. You'd have to take it up with her boss.
Okay. Sure.
Those execs, they tend to be around till the late evenings. If I could check in and see if they're still here or if they're lounging at the Velvet Pedal, if you'd like.
I would appreciate it if you don't mind.
Sure.
Charles. I'm just Danik?
He stands up and he walks out and nods to Bertrand to watch the front desk and comes back. Sorry, but Simeon Lavash seems to be at the Velvet Pedal.
Sure.
Probably finishing up dinner. You could catch them there. I can go ahead and send a page to give them notification in advance, or I can see if there's a time in the morning if you'd like to catch them then.
Do you think it'd be too much trouble if I went over and to chat with them now? I mean, I don't want to impose, but it would be nice. I've got nothing better to do tonight.
Simeon is
How do you still have this much energy?
Yeah, that's a good point. Oops.
Simeon is a more serious type, but that does mean that they tend to bring their work home with them, so
Sure.
maybe it will be welcome to get away from the pleasantries and social obligations.
Right.
You remember Simeon Lavash being a Woolund as well, with a kind of a dour horse face with a kind of an impressive goatee that you met when you were orchestrating the deal for the Mimering Lycan. So yeah.
Sure. All right then. I will. If you could send the page as a little warning, that'd be great. I'm gonna head over there now. Which way is it? And I'll just ask them for directions. So.
Yeah. So they point you off to the in the direction that they sent a page running, and it's up into the executive district, which you've had very little experience with so far. And is there anyone with you?
I would have followed her. I didn't want to interrupt, but I did follow her.
Okay. So while she's off going to the Velvet Pedal, is there anything that anyone else in particular is doing and would like some time for?
So there was something going on with seismic activity in the tunnels. So we got word that some of the aberrant subjects or the people who had been mutated were heading there. Is that correct?
That is correct. And the church has kind of quarantined the area and deemed the subjects inside as like a sensitive people, basically, like a protected animal, somewhere between a protected animal and a sapient, because when the gladiator ring, essentially, that is the slag grinder, started grabbing aberrant subjects and using them in the fighting rings, they're like, no, you can't just do that, they're sapient. So that's what the whole town issues are associated with. But Friendly said that they used the squad of engineers from Agatas to pinpoint that the quakes are coming from whatever weird shit is going on in that area.
Like the orange.
Hey, Rich, you want to come with and take a look?
Well, sure, buddy.
Hell yeah.
So there is a since the city switchbacks up and above, there is a way to get kind of over the top of the area of town where this stuff has been happening. Let me open up the map real quick. Super. So, number 14 is called Ground Zero. It's also called Pen by other people right now. That is where R&D 6 collapsed down into this area. So it's the biggest problem area, and it is that the spot that all of this stuff is going on for. Above that is a nicer area of town that is happens to have a convenient area that the chapel has, the Temple of the Butterfly has been like giving sermons and lowering food down to it. You could attempt to go through the slums and get behind the Sovereign Die, which is this area here, which is bronze controlled gang territory. So you can try to go through the slums to there, or you can try to go up and over and get a bird's eye view, depending on what your interests are.
So I have a blood feud with the bronze at this point, so probably don't go that way.
The third option, there are subterranean tunnels to the city that the Natari control, the gang that you guys happen to have some relationship with. They are notoriously dangerous, and with all of the stuff that has been happening, they have been changing shape and been volatile themselves. You could try to figure out where Vivigeni is and where the Scarab, their headquarters, is now located, and see if they have a route under to get into Ground Zero.
How dangerous is the bird's eye view?
It's not dangerous. You just go into a nice area of town. It happens to be by Petrogovich Bank, which is the fiscal hand of Lamont. It in and of itself is its own company.
I mean, I'd rather go that way. I can make it down anywhere, more or less.
Yeah,
What do you think, Rich?
we can do that one.
So you
I'm
guys
used to a hard Scrabble life.
you guys head up into you head up towards the highlands in the cleaner, nicer, slightly thinner of air area of Lemoore. In the opposite side that Emery and Nash are heading. So Emery and Nash are headed up here, and you guys are headed up here. I'm gonna change back to Emery first before we go on with you guys here. Emery, you and Nash approach the doors of this opulent coffee house that all sorts of pleasant aromas and sounds of tincturing and many strange cooking contraptions in the background, and laughter and coin being traded, and people in skimpy outfits showcasing strange body parts are coming and going as models of the biomantic arts are toted through the facility as well. And of course, the guards are effectively bouncers at the front, and you approach.
Hi.
The velvet petal.
So, we were coming in to visit, insert name that you said earlier.
Simeon Lavash.
Simeon Lavash. Paige had just shot through here a little bit ago.
Yeah, we caught the little weasel. Passed the note on. Seems like he will entertain your presence in a good... he goes, after the sun has finally set, they have reserved rooms. He's finishing up business.
Cool. So is there, any free tables in there?
The table is reserved, along with the rest of them. You must have certain clout with you, as most of these tables have a standing reservation for toilets ahead.
Oh.
Kind of looks back and forth between the two of you.
So people plan that far ahead for, like, a meal?
Oh, this isn't a meal house, necessarily. It's a place of all sorts of entertainment and leisures. But yes, some people save up money for a whole turn just to be able to sit and either imbibe in some of the rarer spices or the foods from all across dwelling at the Velvet Petal.
Really gonna have to work my way up quite to that. I don't usually plan much further than, like, a couple days in advance, but, anyway.
Listen, you can go and stand over there and get a view of the city if that's up your alley. Otherwise, the
Sure.
table should be cleared in the next 10 minutes or so, and you can be seen to the rooms.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. And I'll just go awkwardly stand where he suggested and kind of look at the city until
And your retainer can either stay out here with his arms, or you can, otherwise they will be held for the duration of your visit.
I look at his biceps. Nash's biceps.
The guard's definitely smaller than that. It seems like he spends most of his day standing in place. But underneath...
Well, I think
No,
in her mind, she literally meant arms.
Yeah, I was like looking at Nash's arms, like.
Oh, hilarious. Wow, that went right over my head.
That's why your hair's combed back.
Let's see here. Tips. Okay. Not that one. That. Meanwhile, sorry, I'm just seeing that. Let's see. Ilya and Wretch find their way to the back of what seems to be a bit of a crowd as they get toward their vantage point. This part of the road seems to have had small wooden I want to say fortifications, but that's not necessarily the right word. Structures built that have been decorated with garland and other flowers and other ornaments, and a makeshift podium has been set up. And on the podium stands someone small of stature. In fact, it is another rat. Let's see here.
Whatever, wow.
You know him, Rich?
Familiar. Ooh.
Racist. No, I don't know.
Up front, you hear blessings upon you, kin Lemerance. Today, as the dusk sets, and we find ourselves in the time of the toilet. Nay, it is not but one day, just as it is not but 1 hour. Our people are undergoing an evolution, a change. Scrot sees it. He has marked us. And like all changes, we do not simply molt. Molting is not simply comfortable. Times it is. And the seasons, as they change, we too adapt to them. I find that many of you, yes, may feel like you chafe in this moment. But I say, have we not been chafing for turns underneath the watchful and careful knife and hand of the biomancers? Underneath the guidance, the regency of the corporations. Yes, they have had us, they have helped us reach, many of us are our ideal forms. But how many were left? Like the leaves of last year to fall from the trees and crumple back into the soil. I see it now. So do you. Many of those who would be churned into the slurry and washed into the fields to be granted, to grant nutrients to the sustenance that Bushman Farms brings back to our table. They have been granted a new opportunity. The black spot has marked them. Many of them are remade anew, stronger. Is it simply a blessing? No. As you know and as well as I, the gods do not simply give. They give and take because toil is what makes us what we are, and it helps us appreciate what we have. You can feel the belly of Lemore growl as she burns through her nutrients in the hopes of preparing her pups. For yes, a new generation is upon us. You see it reflected in the carapace of the Natari, the Tiketnu, who have toiled to clean the slurries, to clean the sticks. They are the righteous children of Scrots. They are being spared the indecencies of such a violent reaction to the sacrament that is the black spot. So I ask us, brothers and sisters, please give what you can today to help our citizens through this trial-some time. Help the flotsam rise, that they will not struggle and fail in their cocoon, but be stronger for it and break free as the temple of the butterfly, as namesake tells us. And with their wings, they will carry us, their sustenance, their community, into this next stage.
And with that, baskets are being passed around to gather food, etc., that is going to be lowered to ground zero.
Not good.
No, something's. I think something's going on down there that's going to make this a much uglier situation.
Yeah, squad leader, we taking him down, brother?
I'm not gonna kill the guy, but we need to get down there and figure out what's going on.
Don't lie, you're totally gonna kill the guy.
We're gonna kill the guy. By the way, unrelated, I throw a shoe at him.
Do you? Okay.
No, no, it's an ongoing joke in the YouTube chat.
Okay.
There's a debate whether or not he's blind.
The
You gotta
dude
be
looks
careful.
fucking
I'll
blind.
let you try anything around here. Just shoot.
And forever, the path of this group has diverged.
No, I got this. I throw a silver at him. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a coordination check or a ranged check, actually.
New plan. I turn to Ilya. I'll give you 5 silver if you can hit him with this silver.
That was the silver
Right
I
after
was
you
going
throw
to
it, the
give you.
collection plate is right next to you.
My agility of 5, I can probably land it precisely where you want it to go.
Yeah, you can.
Your
Land
agility
it in
is
his ear.
currently 5. You haven't gotten your armor back.
I haven't?
You're going to get the armor back on the following day, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't
Yeah,
been
this
the
is still
following
the
day
same
yet.
day I was partying.
Oh.
I'm like,
We're-
did that happen?
we're not
Did we
getting
do
it-
that? Did he get his armor back?
I still have a coordination of 4, or agility
It's
of
the
4,
four
which is
still.
phenomenal.
Wait, how does putting on more clothes make you move better?
Because it's
They're really good.
Latex.
magical.
Magic! God.
But remember,
See-
you also got your gauntlets, which gives you basically an agility of 5 for throwing things. So
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Your agility of 5 is substance based. My brawn
Yeah.
of 5 is all natural.
it's got
I'm
more
just
than-
saying, like, you
Performance
take clothes that'll
enhancing
make you
equipment.
move better. Like, maybe some sexy latex. I don't
Wow.
know. He didn't specify the armor material once it was done.
It's a power suit, you know. Like
Hell yeah.
it's like having a motorcycle makes you faster. Like
Yes.
using tools and equipment helps things.
Wait a second. So your agility goes down in bed. I'm sorry for you, bud.
What? Who says I'm taking the latex off?
Jesus.
Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna throw the. So is the Rattan holding a basket, or do you have his hands up?
He's
or
on the
what?
podium. Yeah, he's got a staff like in the picture, and there's a couple of people up front, and he's like leaning down to like hear questions and whatnot, and engaging in some mild small talk with the front row.
I want the coin to land gently on top of his head.
Sure. Yeah. Underhanded. Give me a ranged check. With the benefit of the extra green die from the gauntlet.
Are you going to try and hide that you're the one throwing it?
No,
Okay.
I'm 6'10". How can I? Shit. I mean, I do have great stealth. Oh goodness. 1 in 5.
Luckily I rolled no failure. As the coin, like, lands in, like, his ear twitches, and he's like, kind of, and then, like, looks down, sees the coin, and he picks it up, and, like, looks around just vaguely, and, like...
He did just say sees. He sees
Yeah,
the coin.
Doing a lot of looking around for a blind guy. Damn it.
He picked up the coin, and it looked around, and it, like, looks over at one of his acolytes, and walks over, and they've got another small basket that he puts the silver in, and just walks back to where he was.
Can I see? Like, is he at the lip of Ground Zero? Is it a big crater?
So
A vast chasm?
There is like a there's like a I don't know, stone rail, maybe waist height, and he's kind of set up next to that lip, so to speak. So if you'd like to work your way through the crowd and kind of go over and take a look over, you can.
Come on, Rich.
Let's
So,
go.
Looking over the ledge, you can see the Sovereign Die, the large structure there, and behind the Sovereign Die, it looks like the wall has been shored up and reinforced on this area because it was very hit or miss. The area where R&D6 was is completely washed out, but the road that led to there on both sides has been like kind of capped off, so to speak, with buildings, etc. And down below, you can see that there is basically a small neighborhood. It's slums, but it's not like it's not like the slurry. There's not like a font of Ranvalar that runs through here and floods the area or anything. So you can see from here that it would be kind of hard to get to without having to go through the black market and the sovereign dye that the Bronze control. But in this neighborhood, looking back to your previous times in this area, there is a bit of a like mixed race of sapient who live there. It's just that it's the Onyx's territory. In the center, there is a bit of a clearing, but it's because of like 2 or 3 of the houses have collapsed due to the wall giving away previously. As it starts to set, you can looking around. That's not what you get off of like a first glance. If you'd like to stay there and study it and look for particular things, you're more than welcome to.
Well, my naked friend, I think we've discovered enough here that we can return to the rest of the group and make a bigger plan. Unless you want to go free climbing down there in your current state and carry me with you, because that's not my forte.
Just jump.
I have resist fall damage. Well, not resist. What's the thing? Mitigate. It still hurts, but it doesn't
Yeah.
hurt nearly as much. So
You got
if Ilya
danger
wants to jump,
resistance.
All Ilya can do is jump.
Ilya, we jumping, buddy? We going 2v?
No, we're not gonna
World?
we're not gonna jump. So I would like to do 2 things. Can I do a more thorough, like spend some time and do a more thorough search without jumping down in there?
Absolutely. Yeah, it just takes time. I was just giving what you saw at a glance.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna switch my sword to water element.
Yeah, that'll take an hour roughly of time, but you can start the process. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So unless you guys start like killing priests, it'll probably be changed over before anything climactic happens. So looking down, go ahead and give me a perception check. What are you... It would help if I knew what you were looking for.
Holy shit. 1 success, 6 advantage. I am just trying to, because I know that there was supposed to be seismic activity in the area. I want to look down in there and see, is there like a throng of activity in a certain area, or like an absence of activity, like there's a black hole where there should be a lot of people?
Yeah. So you stand there and watch, and being someone from the north and being kind of a hunter of men, you understand that patience is on your side. As the light starts to dim, the collections have gathered, and the impetus, or the priest in the stage, says, "Now we begin the righteous gift of giving, and lower the donations to the changed." And they have a pulley system with several baskets that they start to lower down towards the community. And as these baskets lower, slowly but surely, you think that maybe you saw something move, but most of the time it's out of the corner of your eye, that sort of thing. But you have noticed that, like, a building kind of on its own moved a bit.
What?
And then as the gift baskets starts to get down towards where the buildings are, suddenly there's more motion as humanoids and other other things, quadrupeds, etc., start moving in toward where the baskets are. And you can quickly see silhouettes of things that reach out and end up taking the baskets and starting to fight over the contents of the baskets. As this happens, while most of these figures are kind of smaller, humanoid in shape, with your 6 advantage, you notice that it seems like one of the what you thought was a building or a shadow of a building seems to have moved closer towards the mass of sapient-like creatures. And it occurs to you that maybe there are things down there that are a little bit more primordial in nature.
Oh, that's some spooky stuff down there, Wretch. So,
I'm
yeah.
currently just like staring at the blind, not blind rat, like just in disbelief that he's not blind. I'm not paying attention.
I'm gonna nudge him like some nasty stuff down there, and I think we should regroup with the party before, and I should get my armor before we tangle with any of that nonsense.
You hear
Yeah, it is pretty messed up. I mean, he doesn't have pupils. Like, what the heck? Where does the light go?
as you ask that, you hear, forever at odds, our gods are, but like dancers of a duet. Greetings, wanderer, and channeler of Dahlia. And he bows humbly in your direction.
Weren't you the guy that I gave a bunch of silver to go to a hotel and eat?
He kind of cocks his head in a confused fashion. No, he is not. You haven't met this person. He goes, you may call me Morsketer Bitterbreath. I don't believe I've had the pleasure of learning your name or your kith. But I can see you are Winterlander. Most welcome.
How do you know? So you don't know who I am. You just know that he's a Chandler of Dahlia because of his icon.
All of his regalia and the fact that he is fabulous.
Yeah, I'm a little obvious.
Okay. I was worried that they knew who we were. My name is
obvious as recognizing a cup.
As what?
Recognizing a
Recognizing a
police
cop.
officer.
How
did you know?
Sure.
All of it?
A uniform.
Yeah.
The mustache.
I am Ilya of the Winterlands, and this is Wretch Braventail, a paladin of Dahlia. We came by to assess the goings on of Ground Zero. We've heard that there was seismic stirrings and wanted to know more.
Curious minds is a gift to be used to ensure your progeny live long, healthy lives. I'm sure that you have used it well the past many turns. He looks down over the kind of the ledge. He goes, the city does purr, doesn't it? And yes, the collapse of the A and B structure was a tragedy of a scale this city has not known in a long time. Longer than I have memory. Blessed be Scott to have given me such a short one that I could adapt and not be burdened with such thoughts.
Cannot deny the beauty and adaptation to horrific circumstances, but there's no adaptation after death.
And yet,
This-
it
not as
seems
far
that
as-
some of ours
As I'm
have
concerned.
adapted after death. In fact, we can turn to our brothers and sisters of the restless and see adaptation there. We can turn to many different types of things that we may not understand and see that when there is a will to carry on, some find a way.
Perhaps, but our goal is not to challenge your philosophy or really much share our own, simply to avoid another great disaster that would take the lives of many innocent people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Of like minds we are. And with that, I'm going to move over to the other group real quick. You, Emery, and Nash are invited in and seated in the velvet petal. And you wait a few moments before Simeon Lavach blesses you with his presence. He comes in and looks at the two of you and says, "Greetings. It has been many toilets, and our venture has proved fruitful. Yes, the memory lichen seems to have put a great barrier in place for the black spot.
I'm very glad to hear that. So it's...
May I sit?"
Yes, please. I'm glad. Thank you for taking the time to see us.
He opens up the box sitting on the table and pulls a cigarette out of it and starts to light it. "Yes, last time your presence was certainly an opportunity. I'm fond of opportunity."
Oh, yes. Us too. Opportunity is great. So we were just curious. It's been a little bit since we've been in town, and last time we had stopped on by, we'd dropped off some interesting ledgers with... I'm so bad at all these people's names. The person who we couldn't find at the
Sponge.
Sponge. With Sponge. But when I went to go visit Sponge, I heard that he hasn't been around she hasn't been around for quite some time.
He goes, the ledgers you passed off a while ago, and then since then they found out where the ship had gone. You guys had gone and investigated the ship, and you brought back the resources from the ship.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's been a very long time.
I assume you detail like kind of where you guys left things off. And
yeah.
Sponge is on assignment. The black spots is still a priority of ours, which I assume is agreeable for you and your new friend here. I don't think we have had a chance to meet. Simeon Lavach.
I'm assuming he's a smaller person, so I kind of like try to make my hand small enough to shake his hand.
He reaches out and shakes your hand. He is a wound, by the way.
Okay.
I assume
I am
this.
Nash.
He looks at kind of out of the corner of his eye towards Emery. I assume this information is privileged confidentiality with your new guest.
Absolutely, yes.
We've gone through great pains to keep things contained.
Sure. Of course.
Understand that in these circles, what's the word I'm looking for? Discretion is not a privilege. It is a necessity.
Of course. We're great with secrets.
I can barely talk.
Sponge relayed the information relevant about your current situation dealing with a mutually held problem to my values. Well, it may seem like it may not seem like someone who's a true Lemoran or an executive has any cares for the woodlands. Hopefully this quid pro quo has shown that I do maintain some element of familial obligation with those I find to be kith. I myself been away from the tribes for a very long time. But problem with Cinder, that is something that I still appreciate. And I appreciate you guys doing whatever it is that you do around here to help us alleviate those problems.
We're working on it, but we're still struggling through the best way to resolve that delicate situation. We've made some headway, but if you're saying Sponge is looking into this or is looking into something else.
Sponge has their hands full with Black Spot.
Sure.
They are currently out on assignment. Both Sponge and... one second. Both Sponge and Marcelit Kinguerin are currently working in close assignment with the Natari. They are conducting their research in Natari-controlled territory. And I cannot necessarily tell you where the Scarab is, as I am not Tikeknu and not trusted by Vivigeni and his ilk. But no, Sparch is not currently working on your Cinder problem. It does not mean I haven't looked into it myself.
I'd be very curious what you found.
For sure. See, the information that I have at my disposal is not entirely without value. And the value of it is not exclusively something for your party and for friendly in the Cerebrum Sierra. Quite frankly, we have a bit of a rapport. Actually, I'm going to check what your gratitude is at this point. 1 second. And can you give me a charm check?
I can try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. think that I have a black die right now because I did not sleep at night. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I rolled a blank though. 5 success, 1 advantage.
Nice. He goes, I have started to theory craft what could be Cinder's problem. I have pontificated what it could look like helping you out, but I'm not going to reveal those details to you. What I will say is that Sponge is with Vivigeni, who holds an element that may be helpful. There are other dealers at play. And once the issue in the with the aberrant subjects has been laid to rest, I do think that the findings Sponge has reported could garner another alchemical resource that, if contained, may prove very valuable in addressing the issue with Cinder.
Really? An alchemical agent?
Well, let's just say that there was proof of concept of sentience. I'm sure you might have been familiar with it. Something that Sponge reported from you. We might be able to utilize to our benefit.
Are you talking about what I think you're talking about?
It itself wasn't entirely sure what it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, in layman's terms, you do not have enough gratitude for him to, give you more of the secret sauce info.
Mhm.
But if you guys shore up what's going on in Ground Zero, and potentially, so if you shore it up, you'll get enough gratitude to help him out. Solve the black spot stuff with Sponge, and you'll have enough gratitude to get these guys to at least give you more information and start working more with you guys on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But bonus objective, if you can get whatever that sentience thing was to cooperate with you and to become a non-aggressive NPC, it may be even more beneficial in addressing Cinder's stuff.
How much does gratitude cost?
Depends on who you're trying to gain gratitude with.
I mean, I think it's obvious who that is in this
Yeah.
case. Don't know why you're hedging there.
Okay. I would say that you could gain a gratitude for every 5 gold that you spend with these people.
And what's the gratitude scale?
Right now you have 30 gratitude with Chettle Corporation. So if you wanted to grease the wheels, for 80 gold, you could work up enough for them to basically open the door and give you guys more secret info. For 100 gratitude, you can gain a special favor, and I have right here, such as utilizing labs to synthesize something that will help Cinder. So, 5 gold per gratitude, roughly speaking.
So 1 platinum is worth 20 gratitude.
Yeah. If you guys wanted to say, hey, we would like to, for instance, fund a special project, we would like to hire Chettle Corporation to help us with this.
And we currently have 30, or something?
You have 30 with Chettle,
Yeah.
and you have 26 with Ammo.
And so, yeah, we'd need 70.
we can get gratitude with them by figuring out what's going on at Ground Zero.
Yes. So they told you Sponge is with Vivageni, along with Marcelit, which was the Onyx who was actually working for A and B, but was on the special task force.
Oh, the one who said that we didn't meet?
Didn't meet?
Well, we got into A and B court, and one of the people that helped us was an Onyx, and he's like,
Oh, that was the
Ratton.
That was the butler of Ida Sparkingen. Marcelit is just an Onyx who works. She's an alchemist who's been helping on the task force.
So another new.
Yeah, you met Marcelit once, and that was when you had the big executive meeting to hash out the memory lichen situation.
Okay. Well, I think that our friends were already taking an interest in what was going on in Ground Zero, so we would be happy to take a look and see if there's any way our little crew could help there.
Well, I can get in touch with Vivageni and perhaps they can bring you to Sponge and their team and go from there.
Okay.
But after that, it's up to you.
That would be excellent. It would be nice to see Vivgeni again. Vivgeni.
I'll send a runner in the morning, see what kind of contact can be made. And where are you staying?
Where were we staying before? We'll go to the same place that we were at the night.
Okay.
2 nights ago, but I didn't stay there.
Right?
So.
And I'll send a runner to your current residence in the morning.
That would be great. Thank you. This has been very nice.
I guess that means I gotta take care of my business tonight when we're done here.
It's been charmed.
You have a good night. And just kind of awkwardly leave.
Enchanté.
When we get outside, I stare at the guy till he gives me my axe back.
Oh yeah, yeah. They pass off this stuff pretty quick. They're a house of hospitality. They don't. It's pretty quick. Nash, where would you like to go?
Can you pull up the map again?
Yes. Here. Ba-doop, ba-dee-boop, boop. Can't stop now that I started making noises.
Boop boop ba-doop. Where were me and Emery just now?
You're up in the executive district, which is up here.
Okay. So, and I'm guessing we're sleeping somewhere down here.
Yeah. If you guys are back at the In and Out, that's kind of where you'd be. Otherwise, Market District's down here, which I think is where you guys were last time.
But we're going to Ground Zero. Okay. I guess I could make a quick stop in the morning. I'm just trying to figure out if it makes sense to go down to Ammo tonight. But I don't know how long that travel time would take if it's currently like 6 or 7 at night.
Yeah, I would say probably like if you're looking to meet with someone for like business, you could probably swing through and like leave some information for one of the for like Ida Sparkingen or for what's his face? Romaniel.
Alright, so I guess what I'll do tonight is I'll send Emery off on her way unless she wants to come with me. And I'll just go down to Ammo
Yeah, I think
go to like
the endorphins are wearing off. I'm gonna go.
and basically just walk up to the help desk and be like, "Hey, I would like a meeting in the morning about making a donation, but I need to speak to one of those two people that we know there."
Oh, certainly. Romano would, sorry, Ida would certainly make an appearance to receive funds for. Is there any sort of project that you're looking to donate to?
Just general relief.
Absolutely, we can get this money in the hands of many of the biomancers who are helping with the circuses tents that have been put up in the relief efforts for the medical operations. Absolutely. Anything, unless you have anything else, we'll switch back to the two who are having the conversation with the priest Scrot.
After that, I'll just go back to the hotel.
Okay.
I'll be done for the night.
Okay.
Wretch and Ilya, floor is yours.
So, yeah, we have some people to confer with so we can better strategize aiding the people in Ground Zero, and we'll take our leave. And I want to get, do I till tomorrow to get my armor, don't I?
Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. Then Wretch and I are going to head back towards our compatriots
Regroup.
where they have to be staying.
Sounds good.
And I'm assuming Emery will be asleep, so when they get there, I'll try and fill them in on our plan of going to Ground Zero tomorrow morning.
Appreciate that.
Okay. You guys group up, and we'll say that. So go ahead and sleep. You guys brief each other. We'll say that like late morning is when the person's gonna stop by. So if you guys want to run off and do your little like grab your armor, that sort of stuff, you guys could do a quick shopping thing at like when the rooster crows, like 6 a.m. sort of thing, when things start opening up, and then
Yeah, I would head to Ammo in the morning with plans to meet them at Ground Zero in the late morning.
Okay, so just so you know, they're not necessarily going to just walk into Ground Zero. They're going to go meet up with the Tekeknu bug people somewhere where they're potentially doing research.
Yeah, I guess my point was I would make plans to meet up with them
Sure.
somewhere.
Sure. Okay. And then, Ilya, would you like to collect your armor before all this other stuff plays through?
Yeah, I mean, I turned my sword to water for contingencies, so I want my armor too.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and say that you guys run off to run those errands, and while you guys are, while the other two are waiting, a Tekeknu comes to the hotel and kind of looks about the inn's kind of breakfast area and finds a spot to hold up before catching the eye of Wretch, who's pretty easy to spot in a dim room, and this Tekeknu with his 6 legs kind of skittering on the floor comes up and bobs his head a little bit, kind of like a bird to you. I was told there would be 4 of you.
We wander around from time to time. Hard to keep track of us all. But we are 4 total, yes, just not here right now.
Vivageni will see you. Baleful 4.
The first part of that cut out, I just heard the baleful 4.
Vivageni will see you when you're ready. I am to take you to the Scarab.
Good. Good.
Are you eating that?
Good.
He gestures towards the breakfast.
No, it's all yours, buddy.
Good. He drags it in front of him and starts immediately eating it. Nash, do you want to roleplay your visit, or do you want to?
Yeah, at least a little bit.
Sure. So as you approach the facility, there's as usual a line out the door, and as you're well aware of, there's tents out in the outside of the city walls as well. But knowing that you've kind of got a special place inside to go to, you kind of cut around the line and into the building, where one of the clerks gestures towards you, and you see another one of those clerks who rolls their eyes because they're the ones who had to deal with you the last multiple times that you guys butt your way through this place.
What are you gonna fucking do about it?
Goes, I'll go get Ida and meet you in the conference room. And he opens up a door for you, and gestures you into the space.
I go in and sit down at what I'm assuming is a conference table.
Yeah. Second. As you wait, a figure eventually opens up the door, and it is not Ida, but a large onyx that you have met once before. This is the onyx who Ilya was just referencing earlier, who said we didn't see
Wait,
each
quick
other.
question. If I went in by myself, would they even recognize me? You
No.
said the clerk recognized me. Okay.
No, that's a good
'Cause-
point. That's just a blatant plot hole.
Okay. Continue.
He walks in and looks at you, looks outside the room, looks back at you, and he goes, "At the far end of the table, please."
I'm sorry, who did you say he was?
It's the bodyguard Onyx for Ida Spark and Gem.
Okay. So I get up and move, I'm guessing further away.
Yeah, just trying to get you onto the other side of the room rather than having to take your weapons and all that sort of stuff. He kind of nods, and Ida moves in. So as she walks in, you notice this Kelegir dwarf with lavender white hair, a very shy mustache, and long eyebrows. She's very, very short, but dwarfish in robustness. She comes in and looks at you, and a look of curiosity kind of crosses her face. And I don't think that we have ever met, but I am pleased that you would donate.
We have met. You just probably don't remember it. I come on behalf of the Baleful Four.
I don't remember there being a Knoll in the party. Maybe it's still better off that we say that we have never met.
I will say, the last time you saw me, I had horns, but that's what I leave it at.
First generation Knoll it is. Well, I guess whatever happened in the wilds seems to have been transformative. I hope you find your situation suiting. Is there something that you're hoping for, some sort of quid pro quo, or is this money given in earnest and with no attachment?
Well, the first platinum is just a donation. And I toss that up onto the table in their direction.
She looks at it, but doesn't make a move to grab it.
And
I
now, go ahead.
I like what that implies.
And if you may recall, the last time we were in here, we were helping somebody by the name of Buckham.
Yes.
Are you aware of what is going on outside the city in the larger farmsteads?
I find myself with my hands quite full of what is going on within the city. In fact, you could quite literally say it is overflowing into the fields. So, unfortunately, this is one matter I find myself ignorant in. I do know the Wooland are raiding.
That's something we are working on. There's a sickness that we are trying to find respite from for the beings of the forest. But my concerns are with the Buckhams, because they treated us very well when we took their son back to them. And I feel like the Buckhams are currently prisoners in their own homes, being taken advantage of. They have no free will, and all their belongings and land are being taken from them by some militia group that moved in claiming to be holding the peace.
It's tragedy. I don't know what that has to do with me, though.
Well, I would be willing to donate another platinum. I'm twirling the second one in my fingers. If at least somebody could check on them. My group and I don't have time to do it right now, as we're about to head into ground zero.
This welfare check. Are there any sort of implications that you would like it to carry with the new management of the Buckham estate?
I would just be interested in knowing how copacetic it is. And I'll go into detail about what we found out while we were there and that stuff, about how they're basically being servants in their own homes.
Sure.
And how the militia are treating everybody. And how they seem to have a race issue.
Well, there are some current workings within A&B Corp. I believe there is some contract for memory lichen that has some semblance of military power. I don't see why that group couldn't make an effort to liaison with the forces at the Buckham estate. Maybe co-opt them to some other arrangement. Roll negotiation.
Oh boy. What is my negotiation roll? Can I spend both story points to upgrade it twice?
Yes.
So that would turn my 2 greens into 2 yellows?
Yes.
Oh yes! 3 success, but no advantage.
She looks down at the table. Of course, if you're ever looking to spend more money on biomantic affairs, would cost you less. Something like this, that money won't go far, but I'll see what I can do.
Yes.
So her intent is to have the group that that is working to secure the border, that is working with Ranvalar, so not Randvalar, that is working with the Deerman tribe to basically swing by on one of their trips and
Yep.
potentially co-opt the military force that's already being established there.
Oh, I would also point out about their fort that we came across too,
Okay.
and their secret nighttime travels. And I'll throw the platinum up onto the table, the second one, and I'll be like, depending on what kind of resolution we can come to with the Buckums, we will definitely be spending more with you guys.
She looks at that and 1 second. I just want to make sure I set this on right. Here we go. She looks at the third platinum.
No, the second.
Sorry, the second platinum, and as she takes it, she goes, for the first one. So she goes, for the first platinum, you have my grace and my efforts here. She goes, she holds up the second platinum. Most of this will be going to Patio Fleury. He is the one who's heading the task force that I will be liaisoning with. I'll make sure that he knows the Baleful Four are the ones who subsidize this jaunt. And if his performance isn't to your liking, you can take it up with him.
Sounds like we've got a deal.
And we do. Now, unless there's something else, I will bid you adieu. And with that,
Have a good day.
you guys are done. Ilya, you go back and collect your armor, and it is just as spectacular as when you left, except even better, as it resonates with some sort of octarine glow, something that is outside of color itself, but is indicative of magic in the armor itself. You put it on and it feels well fitted and seems lighter than all of, like, it seems like you've never even had your gear on anymore. Like, after you doffed your gear, you put the armor on and went to don your previous gear, it feels like it weighs nothing at all. And things that used to clank and swing, all the straps and stuff like that seem to adhere to the armor. However, something to note is that it does take some attention to really make the armor get the full value. And what I mean by that is, effectively, mechanically, is that it requires attunement. Which your sword requires attunement, your gauntlet requires attunement, etc. The only other piece of equipment that I'm aware of is that Sarah's armor, which is the sentient creature, also requires attunement. As most very powerful rare gear do. Do you guys know if you have any other attunement-based items on you at this point?
I don't have any.
Yeah.
I don't think
But
so.
there's a limit to
My
how many
staff,
you can be
but-
attuned to, isn't there?
Correct. So you can have as many attuned items as you have intelligence.
Oh no!
So, you have a lot of very powerful magical gear. you can use all of them, but you can't use all of them at the same time, and it requires a short rest to swap them out for attunement. The new armor that you have does give you +1 agility. Anyone can in the group can wear it. Something to
But it's
something to consider is you could have that in your sword. And I know like you got that headdress, but like someone else could use the headdress in the party, etc. But no one else can use your gauntlet. I would be willing to remove the attunement requirements of the gauntlet since it's the bloodbound gauntlet and it's made specifically with the crystallized sand of your body. And no one else can attune to it. That is specifically called out that only you could attune to it. But I would prefer that you guys hash that out with each other because it's kind of bending the rules and the mechanics of the game specifically to enhance you when you already have a lot of really good gear. So I just wanted to let you guys have that conversation. As it stands, the armor would require attunement, the sword, the gauntlet, and the headdress. But I'm willing to remove the attunement.
Wait, the headdress requires attunement?
Oh yeah, it's super magical.
Oh.
So, anyways, I would be willing to take away the attunement requirements of the gauntlet. Otherwise, you can discuss with everyone else what you guys might want to do in this particular situation.
I mean, if we do, like, because the headdress, I have such good stealth with the armor that the headdress, whatever. And I mean, at this point, you know, like the gauntlet is my soul, and it has a piece of me literally bound to it. But you know,
Yeah,
what
you
do
gotta
you
get
guys
rid of
wanna
the
do with it?
past. You can't get rid of the
Wow.
past.
Ouch.
I'm not interested in anything he's carrying.
I could use the headdress because I've gotten us into some bad situations before with stealth because it ain't really Emery's thing. So
I bestow upon
That's
you
just
the
doesn't
Tengu
stealth.
headvest.
loverly.
He doesn't need to.
However, I don't know the best way to like toss it on my way. I don't know if you where I can
I
find
have
the-
11 charges
I've
left.
got it here.
Okay. So I
You
can-
should be using that thing a lot more than you have been.
Well, I'm just really good at violence. It doesn't come to mind.
I'm gonna post it in the Discord.
Okay.
Something that you could do is you could add, like, you could get it, like, you could get the enchantment re-upped and stuff like that too. If you, I mean, 11's pretty high still, but
Sure. No, I hear you though.
Oh,
That
so
makes
they can
sense.
be recharged. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you
so-
should be using that
so-
thing a lot more than you have been.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I used it when we needed it, but every other time, Ilya's like, you know what? Maybe a dramatic entrance is what I deserve. I need that for me today.
I think it works with Emery's aesthetic, anyways.
Okay, so it has 11 charges left.
Correct.
Okay.
It can hold 15.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And the point on it too about stackable is pretty important too. Like you could blow 5 charges and upgrade, like get 5 extra yellow dice.
Ah, okay.
And defense.
Interesting. I guess I didn't realize that before.
Yeah. Like he said, I mean, you're only as stealthy as your worst link, right? So him being super stealthy and then having the stealth headdress.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I'm gonna look fabulous in this. Thank you, buddy.
Got you, homie.
See, I don't need to spend my money. I get nice hand-me-downs.
There you go.
Okay, so that
So-
resolves one of the
Yep.
thing. So is that good then, or is that
So do you guys want someone else to have the armor, or do you guys want the Bloodbound Gauntlet to have free attunement for Ilya?
I'm fine with him having the free attunement.
Yeah.
Yeah, free attunement's fine.
Cool. All right. Make sure you put that on the thing then. Is that it? Denote on your sheet that it has free attunement.
That is G.
Okay. Also note, you are maxed out on attuned items. So if you buy
I don't
something
get
really
any more.
cool, you'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
I guess.
And somehow all my store bought slightly upgraded stuff is still better.
Then my armor?
Yeah.
I don't know about that because I
In
got the
my
extra
opinion, for
agility.
Nash.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, my armor gives me boosts to being scary. And also now it has the grapple defense.
Literally can't argue with scary. Okay. So we'll say with that, you guys all meet back up at the tavern and head out with your guys's you guys head out with your guide, and we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
Everybody go to the lobby. Let's all go
Okay.
to the lobby.
Okay.
All right, I'll be back.
You can do it, Ashara. There you go. Oh, your leg's asleep. This whole time I haven't been hearing the Roll20 music because I had my computer on the wrong setting. Hiya, Shara. Oh, she's a naked lady.
She went and stayed with a new friend over the weekend. She had a rover babysitter. Just got home this afternoon. I can't tell if anyone's back, just so you guys know.
I believe it's just me.
Okay.
Lucky. Eek! Good call with the Buckums, by the way. They need some help.
Corbino.
Yeah.
I can't see him now. He's behind Josh. Oh, there he is.
He's trying to sneak away.
Just gonna look for drop pieces of popcorn.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Yeah, what is it about popcorn where it just still pops out of your hands even after it's been popped?
Alright, bastard.
It's sneaky.
If Bailey could come in the basement, there's all kinds of popcorn for her to eat.
My dog just stole my pizza.
What?
All of it?
I was sitting down and I had just the crust. But I was gonna eat that, but it hit my knee and bounced off onto the floor, and then she just went and grabbed it, and I'm like, well, I guess it's her crust now.
Yeah.
If it touches the floor, it's no longer your crust.
I know.
Yeah. That's her domain.
That's sad.
That's the big true.
Do you have
How did
any?
you buy the exact same sweater as Alyssa? I am disappointed in those sweaters. The
we
zipper doesn't do anything, and the hood just looks uncomfortable.
we bought matching sweater. Well, semi-matching because hers is a different color. And yeah, did you notice that there's the two
Pockets aren't real?
the pockets?
Or no, they don't connect.
They don't connect. Yeah, it's a very weird sweatshirt. It's a strange one. But you know, unique is neat.
The strings would drive me nuts.
Really? You don't like the off kilter?
No.
But it's uniqua.
The one saving grace I had is if that zipper actually like opened up the collar if you unzipped it, so it'd be easier to like take on and off or something. But no, the zipper doesn't even fucking do anything.
No, there's just this completely useless zipper. It's not even a pocket. Like if it was it does nothing. Just zips.
I kept looking at hers hoping, well, maybe you can just cut the stitches open. Maybe they just didn't do that, and nope.
Nope.
Because like when I bought my dress clothes for Austin's wedding, some of the pockets were still sewn shut, so I had to go through and cut them open.
Oh yeah, that's stuff.
Dusty, you here?
I'll take that as a no. Oh.
Dusty's still
I'm
not
back.
back, huh? Oh,
I'm back.
there you.
Hey.
Had to shred some chicken for Hannah.
Oh. Got me on to big responsibilities.
Did you shred it?
We
then
live
kill
together
it?
now, Sarah.
Ah,
Big adult relationship.
big adult relationship.
We also made shredded chicken last night.
Wait, what would you make it for?
Alyssa wanted to make something lime chicken in the slow cooker to make quesadillas out of.
Ooh, yummy.
Cilantro lime chicken, maybe? Or tequila lime?
Think
I don't think it was tequila. I didn't see what she used, but I know she used lime.
Hmm.
And I couldn't taste it because I had toothache paste in my mouth.
Ah, that'll do it.
it.
Yeah. Well, she made she brought me home dinner from work. But she made Spanish chicken with rice.
Oh yeah.
So she had me shredding some chicken.
Nice.
You guys leave the tavern behind this Tekeknu gang member. And he passes through the streets and takes you into the bowels of the slurry. And eventually comes across a partially sunken building where he opens up the storm doors to a tunnelway. He even has to like burrow part of it open to make it sufficiently spaced for you guys to be able to get access. And so it's a bit of a squeeze. Everyone besides Wretch has to get on their hands and knees to pass through part of it. As you guys travel through this confined space, you eventually find yourself into a dark, wet chamber. It is pitch black, and through only the suggested use of a hooded lantern, and through the refracting of the beautiful, is it chitin or chitin?
Chitin.
Chitin? Because I grew up with the reading of the word.
Yeah.
I called
Chitin.
it. Yeah. So, anyways, over his iridescent chitin. And he eventually has to stop you guys several times and tells you to douse the lamp as strange creatures move through the ways. You guys' first experience in the ways, Vivigani told you guys, hey, you can go through there, but ultimately it's the law of the wild down there. I control certain paths, etc., and we have almost like a animalistic familiarity, neutrality with some of the creatures down there, but not everyone.
I would just like to point out when we got into the underground, Nash would put on his thermal cloak just in case,
All right.
just for splashing and whatnot.
Does it have splash resistance?
It's just more for thematics.
Okay.
I just feel like you would put it on.
Perfect.
Mhm.
It can be cold down there too. Who knows?
Oh yeah. It's it gives you the feeling that you have a fever just walking through this space. You know, I want a different song. Let's change the song. I've been on this one for a while. Can I have you guys give me stealth checks?
Stealth?
Stealth.
Can we refuse?
You can auto fail if you want.
Yeah, auto fail. You ain't sneaking. You ain't sneaking.
Well, guys, I used all my story points already, so I can't help with this one.
Can I use my headdress to be sneaky?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use a charge on my
Oh.
headdress.
Something I think you should point out, Dustin, is did you put on your armor and attune to it before we did this?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. 4 and 3.
I
So
also
do you have
attuned to
6
my
agility?
headdress.
I have 5 agility.
I thought you had 5 agility, and putting on the armor would have given you
Mm-hmm.
another one.
No, I had 4, and now I have 5.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if it was possible or not. 2 advantage.
So 0 and 2, 6 and 3,
What? 4 and 3.
4 and 3. Sorry, Emery.
1 and 3, even with my extra die.
Wretch.
0 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ilya spends much of his time herding the group and like helping in different ways to communicate, watch out for this, that sort of stuff. He's in charge of the lamp, luckily enough. And his keen hearing.
I have dark
keeps helping
vision,
him
so I
douse
wouldn't need it
sometimes.
anyway.
Oh yeah, that does help you. Eventually you guys stumble into figures. But these ones are not moving fast through here and sniffing and growling, but seem to be vigilant. And the other Tekeknu, you guys, after a pause and a breath, they come and acknowledge each other, and they lead you further into what are the controlled territory of the ways. Eventually, more and more Tekeknu are passed that are part of this group, and you do find that there are certain areas that are essentially recreational staying areas for these guys. It's not long before you guys are brought into a space where the guide leaves you, indicating that he's going to go get the beginning and go from there. And that is when an unfamiliar figure is led into the room. This one is big and powerful, very similar to Vivekeni, but has grown, like, I want to say spines, but they are quickly identified as something akin to an antennae, but with strange heads to the antennae that seem to be of a foreign purpose, with a slight illumination to them. And you see that additionally there are small growths on Vivekeni, whom you've now recognized to be this figure, but his colors have changed, and even some of his limbs seem to have joints where they weren't before.
Uh-oh.
He enters the space. And again, he nods to some of the company, and they bring out something for him to essentially feast on while in your guys' company. And he starts picking at it, and he's just watching you guys as his tiny little mandibles are being fed by tiny little hands.
Can I have a quick side recap of like where? Okay, last time we saw Evgeny was after we went in underground to like see what had happened to his men, and we found the snail weird snail thing.
Yes.
And told him about it. Is that like?
Yes.
Where exactly did that like leave off with him? Was that just like good luck? Or
yeah.
Just trying, because there was some times where we were on tense terms with him, and so that's like where I'm stemming my question from, I guess.
Yeah. Why is it playing the song again? Play something
I
different.
met him like once for all of 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The last time you guys met him, so you guys had done some stuff around town that like kind of put them on the back heel and whatnot, just with like your antics and whatnot, right? Like when, especially after A and B Corp, and you fled to his skirts and whatnot. But you guys have actually there's a number to it. Dude. currently you guys are at 35 gratitude with the Natari, which is pretty good. Not quite at the level where he's going to be giving you guys secret information voluntarily, like you're the bestest buds. But it is to the point where they're open to doing things together to build better relationships.
Okay.
Would arm wrestling him help?
Probably not, especially if you win.
Hi, it's been a while. How are you? You look different. That's a new color for you.
Give me a charm or a negotiation check.
I'll do a charm. Always compliment when they dye their hair. God,
So Midwestern.
guys.
That's different.
Two and four.
You see one of his little things go like, and goes, Kith Emery, thank you for looking upon me and concerning for my health. I am glad you are alive. I am glad every day my allies and my friends live another breath. See the Stellarium once more. I am healthy. These times, stress does not abate. Always something interesting.
It seems like there's been a lot that has changed since we've been back last. Last time we saw you, there was the situation with insert name of
Archie?
person that they had us look for. I don't
Yeah.
the person that we found that was all under. There was like a specific person they were having us look for. Under. That was part of their crew that turned into snails.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to pull their name right now. I should have had this ready to go.
I mean, I have notes too. I just am being lazy and not prepared. Shalatu?
Shilatu sounds right, yes.
Had a molten pearl
Yeah,
from the
Shalatu.
queen. So...
Thank you.
No context other than that, but okay.
Noting his name makes you pretty much auto succeed this next check. So, he goes, the Natari remember your help in securing our lost family. I was distraught at the loss of Shalatu. But you're right to say the times have changed. And there are those who would suggest Shalatu is not lost. I'm curious if you would weigh in on the matter. I'm curious. You always seem to have your own reasons for showing up and while our relationship is positive, I wouldn't necessarily call it lacking in transactions.
What was the question? I'm so sorry. But...
He said he's been amongst company that would suggest that perhaps Shalatu is not gone. And he's curious as to what your thoughts are.
Watched him die. Unless he's changed into some form of life we don't recognize, we watched him die. There was a finality to his death.
What is Shalatu now? I don't know enough to know the answer to that question.
Our species, us Teketnu, we have a strange and foreign outlook on life compared to many other sapiens. We practice something that the Onyx would call sorcery. It's innate to us. Our connection with this world is particular. And that type of connection has been called many things. But one of the words that has been used to describe it amongst witchcraft practitioners is necromancy. We help transition things from what they are to what they could be. You are all familiar with the woodlands and have been dealing with wow, my brain just melted there for a second.
Buffering.
What?
Buffering.
Buffering, yeah. Why is that so hard to find?
Cinder.
No, sorry, there we go. It just came to my head again. And have been dealing with many issues in Carnation. You have met the Dryads, have you not?
Yes. Absolutely. And I kind of like gesture to my body on my chest.
Yeah. He nods his head. Have you seen the slave camps, my people?
Unfortunately, we have. We were not happy about those, and I kind of look at Ilya.
We totally
The
didn't
worst
kill
days of my
dozens
life.
of them.
We didn't.
No.
Some might find our practices to be, our habits, in fact, the very nature of the way that we survive in this world, to be uncouth. But none can deny that it is necessary. We keep Lemoore clean by scrubbing it of its waste and changing it into something more tolerable to the denizens here. And so, too, do my brethren in the woodlands. And in the bowels of the world that you have not seen, there my people work. We have come across words like reincarnation and other types of suggestions that things can be something new and yet still resemble something of the old to live on. We have been asking these questions since time immemorial. When does a thing cease being itself a constant state of change? Am I really Vivigeni now? I saw the look of skepticism on your faces as I approached, and I constantly dealing with the fear and the mongering of this city as it looks on my people, whom I would say are still very much so themselves. So I ask you again, do you think Shalatu is dead? Or do you think mayhaps he has moved on to become something else? Or something in between?
What we saw of him, it looked as though, again, I don't understand magic, much less the way your people resurrect or reincarnate, but what we saw of him, there was nothing left. Not like he bled out, not even as though his head was removed. It was like he turned to jelly or goo. Like he just turned into flowing blood.
Now, of his soul, now, that I'm not sure, and I don't... If I would not be sure if I would want his soul to be left rather than be free and brought back through, you know, the Black Phillip and like that, the standard, you know, process.
We see it as our duty, as some of us, to Ketnu, to pass on to Corkeo Corpus and Insania Infinitum what is their due, to give Black Phillip his feed. Some things take longer than others. I am sure you've all seen the graveyard outside of the city and the toils of of the Undertakers, in order to undo the preservation that has happened there. Out of turns and turns of misguided practices. I don't know what happened to Shalatu, but your research friends are here. And they seem to have thoughts on the matter. What is happening to my people? What has happened to theirs? And what it is that spoke to you in the ways. Just wanted a chance to talk to you before I brought them in.
Appreciate that.
Is there anything that I have to fear of these corporations being so close here? Because there are some amongst the more religiously fervent that would suggest that they could be a threat. What about you?
You mean the
holy
Temple
man?
of the Butterfly? Then
I do.
I don't think the corporations. Don't think the corporations are the danger there. I think that desperate and scared Flotsam are trying to make reason out of this disaster, and they are worried that the corporations are attempting to disrupt the change process. And I think in reality that we all just want to clean this mess up and stop so many innocent people suffering.
Roll negotiation with 4 boost dice.
4.
Was that for me?
Yes. Stinky dog.
Oh no.
She's been having the nastiest farts today. I wonder if she's got an upset tummy
Yeah, maybe.
from being away from home.
Yeah, stinky girl.
What'd you get?
Still rolling.
Oh.
Ah, goodness. Yeah, like 1 and 4.
1 and 4. That you would
Could have asked me how fast I can run.
that you would speak in alliance with corporations and against the flotsam who so clearly have idolized you for your recent efforts. Adds a gravity to it, hence your four boost dice. I will heed your words and at least continue working with these folks under careful scrutiny, but know that I do not let them leave here. Sponge and Marcelit are not captives despite being detained. They entered this contractually. I know you folks tend to act a bit rashly when you hear things like the words captive, etc. I do not trust Sponge, and I do not trust Marcelit, who's, you all know, is Onyx, one of them, working from the underbelly of the corporations. And so, with such sensitive information and such fire and ferocity against my people, we are under a common arrangement here. And he gestures towards the door, and the guards bring in Marcelit and Sponge. Marcelit is a very dainty Onyx. Who I've described before as being mouthless with 4 sapphire eyes, delicately framed, and dresses as female.
Okay. Hello again. How are things going for the both of you? You seem busy. Just always gotta keep it light to start.
The beady eyes of the possum that you worked for in the past was, oh, familiar faces. Oh, it's very. The Keknu have been treating us very kindly. Yes, they have been very, very generous too. Food's different, but you know they help bring us down what we can, and of course I've always have had a very broad palate. Yeah, it's been a while. We've been down here for quite a while, but always very interested in my work. I'm so glad to have another helper around who can bounce some ideas off of. I'm sorry, I didn't meet you. My name's Sponge. She walks off to address Nash as Marcelit steps forward as well. Is there anything that you guys?
I suppose I suppose I would be new to this circle.
Oh, well, welcome. I guess I don't know if it's my place to welcome you here, but um, you
My
seem
name
to
is
be in
Nash.
good company. Nice to meet you, Nash. I'm Sponge, and this is Marceline, my I guess coworker for this project. I guess I'm gonna give the floor to you guys first, if you have anything that you'd like to ask the Black Spot research team.
Okay, sorry.
Have you deduced any magical properties to the black spot?
Marceline speaks up. The Black Spot is not magical, but there does. Actually, how did you put this? But we cannot rule magic out, as there are the molting pearls. And she gestures towards Vivigeni. Yes, the molting pearls. As you guys remember, there were 4 originally given to me by Laxandre through our shared associate, Wallaby. There was a chest about yay long and about this wide that held essentially 4 bocce ball sized, like, orbs in it of a kind of like an oatmeal-esque color and consistency. Previously, they were described to... Actually, I don't know if they did describe them to you guys.
They talked about them.
Yeah. So these were reagents that would, when consumed by Tekeknu, would cause very rapid and very significant mutagenic transformation. Generally speaking, turning a Tekeknu into like a super Tekeknu in various ways. As you guys well know, Shalatu had one of these with him when he was lost. Marceline speaks up. Yes, it has been my deduction that there was interplay between Shalatu, a molting pearl, and the black spot. But the order in which these reagents interacted is still in the theory stage. Now, what we have noticed is that not only has the black spot been able to inhabit hosts, but it has also been able to inhabit these molting pearls themselves. She goes, if I may, and opens up the case. She goes, as you can see here, there is significant differences between the molting pearl on the left and the molting pearl on the right. It is after vigorous testing, we have decided that this one over here has been infected with the black spot itself.
That's fascinating, really. So it can infect the pearls themselves. Do we know? Well, I suppose we probably don't. Do we know whether or not the pearl that was on that person was infected or not before they transformed?
No, we don't. We don't know if the molting pearl was corrupted before imbibed, or if Shalatu was infected before imbibed, or if he was completely healthy, consumed the molten pearl, and then became infected afterward. We also cannot be entirely certain that what you were speaking to, that the response that you received was from Shalatu, now changed into a different form entirely, something wholly alien to our kind. Or if the parasite or whatever it is, this black spot, reacted with the molting pearl inside the body of Shalatu and gained sentience in the process, and then puppeteered his form to reach out. Wow. Yes, what we have been able to tell is that the creatures inside of the Ground Zero area do not mimic a hive mind. As a matter of fact, many of them still operate entirely on their own. That being said, there are multiple forms that we have identified as oozes that do not necessarily work in concert, though there may be more to the story, as we have seen several that do.
Really?
Yes, unfortunately, me and Marceline, we have not been able to get too close, as both the chances of becoming corrupted ourselves is high, but also there's a certain level of lethality to the interactions with the aberrant subjects, and we've decided that a more slower and safer approach might be better for everyone, as it would be awfully time-consuming for people to repeat our research if we were to meet our demise.
But Marcelit, please don't take offense to this, but you're an Onyx. I thought that this black spot was not impacting your people.
My people still remain uninfected by the aberrant substance. That being said, we have found that the aberrant substance has started to take on memory-like affectations and has started to use resources, inorganic resources and materials from the surrounding area. My current hypothesis is that it has begun to mimic, ironically, the memory that it has been exposed to. And to Sponge's point, while the chances of corruption for my kind are greatly less than those of other sapient, it is still a non-zero number, and the odds of me being torn to pieces is still quite high.
Oh.
How robotic.
Right.
Not a word anyone knows here.
Right? Sorry, I stole the show with quite a few questions, so I'll stop for a second.
So it's capable of mutating flesh into different structures and forms, similar to the way that memory does?
Well, the original black spot was a very highly infectious material that killed its hosts right away. And what we found was with stage 2 of the black spot, it had learned to develop symbiotic patterns and attempted to sustain the body of its host in order for it itself to survive. Furthermore, it has since developed to the point that it is able to create adaptations inside its host to create a host that is more likely to survive in its atmosphere, in its current atmosphere. And I think that what we have been seeing inside the pen is almost a survival of the fittest test of arms, as each host attempts to outbid and out struggle its competitors for the food source. That being said, it does seem as if all of them have adapted a behavior to seclude itself from the rest of town, shying away from loud noises, etc., in the hopes of finding food in a more secluded spot. Now, all of that is very simply described from a patterns behavior analysis, but what really concerns me is that whatever portion of the black spot that seems to have interacted with Shalatu may be of a different caliber because of the molten pearl. I do not believe it is all absolutely connected as far as sentience goes, but I don't know if it knows that or even what it is, because at this point we have had simple interactions with oozes that work in patterns, and there seems to be methodology to it, but we have yet to communicate with any sort of verbal creature in the pen.
Emery wants to, pontificate for a second on, if this is evolving, if the black spot's evolving potentially closer to what's in Cinder now, or if it's very different in nature, because the mention of, hive mind, stuff.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a knowledge nature check.
It's okay. 2 success, 5 advantage. 4 advantage, I'm sorry.
2 success, 4 advantage.
Yeah.
You can gather that the thing that is inside Cinder is not, if it was of the same ilk as this thing that's in the black spot,
Mm-hmm.
it isn't adapting to become symbiotic. You have no evidence of it attempting to become symbiotic, right? Also,
okay.
the thing that is the black spot, you survived the black spot.
Mm-hmm.
And you, from the source, right? You went to the Crystal Tarn and got sick.
Right.
Whatever was in Bon Veonai literally killed a demigod level creature. So it's not the same in that regard.
Okay, so this isn't an offshoot of what Cinder has in a baby form. This is just... I keep getting confused about the black spot versus...
Yeah, so it was... The black spot was described as, a byproduct
Okay.
of the reaction. So it'd be if Bon Veonai was a car and gasoline was in the car, the black spot would be exhaust. Right? It's not gas, it's not the car, it's something else. It's also gross, right? Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It is a leftover of something that happened that is associated with the parasite, but it is not a baby of the parasite in that sense. It's not they're gonna go and be Mama, Daddy, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
so it's kind of like a disease reaction from bacteria, where there's degrees of separation. So it's a sickness that developed from the aftermath of the parasite.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's an effect of the parasite, but not, like you said, it's not like the parasite is a disease and the black spot. Like everyone's not a carrier of the parasite.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So, with all of this going on,
Should we ask the cage question?
um,
Don't see why not.
Yeah, like this is life or death stuff for many thousands of people. So we spoke to a being in the forest some time ago who sent our check on the errand that ended up killing him when he asked the Onyx about a cage that could potentially hold this parasite. Is that something you're at all familiar with, or can you point us in the right direction?
Sponge kind of wrinkles her eyebrows, and Vivigeni speaks up. And goes, back to that old thing, huh? Or our check. The Bronze know exactly what you're talking about. And I am absolutely certain that Volgile, sorry, Volgile or Mazdak would be able to tell you more. You got a bit of a problem on your hands, don't you, though? Here's the thing. Maybe there are alternative routes to get your hands on the thing that you're talking about. Maybe cooperation isn't what you need. I heard your guys' plights. Them taking your kin. Well, where would you be taking kin other than potentially to a place that might be testing how to cage things?
you mean my kin?
Your kin were taken by an onyx and
Yeah,
a vampire, correct?
they were. Yes.
That vampire is contracted through onyx that are working through groups that are more likely funding the Bronze.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you could probably find paper trails within the city or up in Holdendorf. If only you had a way to pull the ear of some of the corpos who might have access to that sort of thing. Friendly could help get that information moving to get you guys an idea of where to go to potentially track that shit down. But he has a couple of leads for you guys already on some things that you guys could do in town for that sort of stuff. But the only other thing that Vivigeni could do is there are people are doing this with the Onyx a little bit in the middle of the Highlands. They might be able to get you guys basically smuggled further in if you figure out where you need to go.
But right now, we were asked to potentially help Sponge and Marcelite with their research.
Yeah.
So,
So what exactly can we do for you?
yeah, Sponge says, well, see, there's a couple of things. I think that the thing causing the tremors has something to do with the oozes. More in particular, whatever this pack of them. And my working theory is that if you go into the heart of the pen and track these things down, you might find some answers to the riddle of the talking aberrant subject. If you kill whatever these are, it may be that the tremors stop, and that problem goes away. And if you can collect a sample, that may help us with finding more. You see, the thing is that whatever it is, it's a rapidly adapting thing to help hosts stabilize. It sounds like a perfect vessel for vaccines.
What do you
So
mean
you
by
want us
that?
to like hack off a piece, stuff it in a bag, and bring it back to you?
We could be using vessels that would hold it in a much more sanitary fashion and would reduce the odds of corrupting the samples. But in essence, yeah, if you could get us some samples, and also, I mean, if you're looking to stop the calamity in the city, it would be probably to kill whatever it is or get it to stop.
And when you say a vessel for a vaccine, you know, of course, we're trying to stop what's going on with Cinder, and honestly, if we can figure out how to deal with the parasite within Cinder and either kill it or cure it, however this works, that might stop at least more black spot from happening at some point. I don't know quite how all of this works, but it's the primary problem that caused this black spot byproduct, so to speak. So,
I mean, yeah, theoretically, I mean, if there's anything that is making someone sick, especially if the host is able to survive for any substantial period of time, this could very well be the start of a vaccine for parasites, viruses, bacteria, any of them. It is the most powerful reagent that we have ever found in this sort of capacity, other than a few other things. But I don't see why we wouldn't be able to work towards creating something that might be able to help you with this parasite. So yeah, you have found that there are a few ingredients that Chetocorp needs to gather, and each one would increase the odds of their vaccine for Cinder to work. They still haven't technically accepted the contract. If you solve this issue, they'll go to the table to work on that with you. And they'll list out what all of the stuff that they've figured out that might work and might not work for Cinder. The other one that you guys have, Emery would be able to identify it, is potentially the molting pearls. Mm-hmm. Either the corrupted one or the non-corrupted one, depending on where the research leads. So very, very powerful ingredients to a potential alchemical cure.
Sure.
And it is 9:01. So, as a group, you guys come together and consider what is being set before you.
The scientists have not gone too far into the pen. The pen is something is causing the city potential for collapse, and is growing and is basically gathering the black spot victims toward it. If you guys want to go in and kill everything, if you guys want to find this like prime aberrant subject and deal with it, you can. Like, the floor is yours, and then we'll pick up whatever you guys choose. That's what we'll pick up with on our next session.
I think we should get into that there pen and kill the alpha aberrant subject.
Hey,
Get a
now
hunk of it and
we
bring
could
it back.
save it.
We could.
Yeah. So
Rich, if you like playing some hands.
We could just
Yeah.
rope it up and drag it out.
and that was the thing that Diala was hinting at, was that mayhaps there is a way that this thing would be willing to help you.
I am fine either way.
Yeah, we can try and cure it. I mean, we can always fall back on murdering it.
You could just
Yeah.
leash your goddess on it.
I don't know. If
Like, isn't that the
goddesses-
grossest thing you've ever seen, Dahlia?
So it's like
Ew.
you could use
Ugh.
a makeover, and that's what the session is.
Hilarious.
Makeover
Roll-
montage.
Roll to apply blush.
Yeah, it's a glam up. Okay.
It's hilarious.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Let's try to talk, and if we fail at talking, we bonk.
There you go.
Yeah, don't expect
Hell yeah.
Nash to do the talking. He can do the scaring.
Emery's got the talking.
I can tell it that it looks very shiny. And
You look
nice.
very different.
Different.
Oh, that's different.
You look ghastly.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Sounds like
All right. Good
plan.
night, everybody.